This time on episode 179 of Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D., we're going to be talking about Luke Cage. Now you're mine. We're also going to be talking about a little bit of your weekly Marvel news and your feedback. I'm Stargate Pioneer from the Starling Tribune, a podcast member of the Gonna Geek Network, just like the one you're listening to now. The opinions expressed are those of each individual. Check out all the other podcasts at GonnaGeekNetwork.com and get ready, because geekiness begins in 3, 2, 1.
You have been granted clearance by Director Phil Coulson. Stand by for S.H.I.E.L.D. debriefing. All information to be discussed here is classified and may only be discussed among agents granted clearance by the S.H.I.E.L.D. Director.
Now it's time for your scheduled debriefing. I'm Director Stargate Pioneer.
And I'm Agent Haley.
Welcome to Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's a Marvel Comic Universe fan show. This show is recorded on Wednesday, June 7th, 2017. Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. is a fan-based podcast on the ABC television show Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Marvel's Daredevil Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist on Netflix, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and the Marvel Comic Universe in general.
Because of a Bible full of crazy notes.
If you'd like to talk to us about a Bible that's marked up, red circled, and highlighted, you can catch us on our website, legendsofshield.com.
You can call us and leave us a voicemail at 844-THE-BUS-1. That's 844-843-2871.
If you want to send us a picture of a marked up Bible, you can catch us, well, you can catch the ladies on our Facebook page. That's facebook.com/legendsofshield.
You can also hit us up on Twitter at Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D.
And don't forget, we have a video companion, so you can leave a note on the YouTube at youtube.com/GonnaGeek about marked up Bibles.
And don't forget, Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. is a proud member of the GonnaGeek.com network.
We are Agent Lauren-less again today. Hopefully today is the last possible day that we're without Lauren. We're hoping very much to have her back next episode, which isn't even in a week. We'll get to that later. And we're just hoping the best for our Agent Lauren's return.
Yes.
Okay, I was just leaving a space there for you to also chime up, and that wasn't just me, it was also you, too.
Yeah, I mean, keeping you in line on my own has been a lot of work, and I need Lauren to come back and help with that.
The SP can get a little wily at times, and now we're going to get even wilder, because we're going to get into the Luke Cage episode that we're going to talk about this week. Now you're mine. Haley, who directed this episode?
This episode was directed by George Tillman Jr. He has 13 directing credits going back to 1992 with a short called Paula. He did Scenes for the Soul, Soul Food, Men of Honor, which was an excellent movie, Notorious, Faster, The Inevitable Defeat of Mr. and Pete, The Longest Ride, Love is a Four-Letter Word, 3 episodes of Power, 1 episode of Luke Cage, and 2 episodes of This Is Us. And he has an upcoming movie, Miles Davis.
He also produced the Barbershop movie from 2002.
There you go.
This episode was written by Christian Taylor, who has 12 writing credits, including such great shows as 3 episodes of 6 Feet Under, 1 episode of Lost, which I have never seen, but apparently it was an amazing show up until the end. 3 episodes of Teen Wolf, which I know is one of Haley's favorite TV shows.
It's very good.
15 writing credits for Star Wars The Clone Wars, which right now Lauren, if she would hear, would go, ah! And of course, Christian Taylor did 2 episodes of Luke Cage, last week's DWYCK, and this one, Now You're Mine. Christian, by the way, is also a producer for 6 Feet Under, Lost, Teen Wolf, and Luke Cage. So this team of George Tillman Jr. and Christian Taylor put together this great episode of Now You're Mine. It was a fantastic episode. And Haley, where would you rate it in the terms of the 13 episodes?
I don't know. I can't rate these.
We've seen them so much far apart, but it was a good episode, right?
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I'm ready for some things to happen, which I won't talk about because that would be spoilers, and some people do not want spoilers.
That's right. I can't wait to see the next episode next week. Now, what do you think the meaning? I was trying to figure this out, and honestly, I'm a little bit miffed that I can't figure it out, but now you're mine. What exactly does that mean in the context of this episode?
I think it's just Diamondback. You know, he's stepping up. He is taking control of all the situations. He's taking hostages. Luke Cage is now his to control.
The whole Bible, Cain and Abel, now you're mine. I get it now.
Yep.
It took me until that to get it. Now I get it. Yeah, very much. Well, the episode starts off with an action scene that we cut from the last episode. And remember, this is a Netflix series, so they make a great habit of continuing the action scene from the end of one episode to the beginning of the other to keep you engaged, involved, and to keep you in front of your TV set and away from work.
Yes, they do. That's the thing they do.
So you got bullets flying everywhere. Misty is hit in the arm. Now, Luke is carrying her like cradle style, and her legs are sticking out. Her legs never got hit, and there's literally hundreds, if not thousands, of bullets headed their way. How did her legs never get hit?
It was in the script.
Because plot.
Yes.
So Luke saves Misty. He gets her into the kitchen. I thought it was the freezer at first. It's just the kitchen. Gets her into the kitchen, and then things start to roll because things stop in the action on the outside. Hostages are taken, and
he leaves Claire like she can fend for herself.
She can fend for herself. I got to give him credit on that, but he expected her to leave, and she didn't leave. She stayed.
Yes. How is she supposed to leave, though? There's like a room full of crazy dudes with guns.
She was right next to the door.
I don't think she was. I think she was like next to the bar.
Yeah, but it was the side of the bar that was closer to the door on the way out. I think she could have gotten out.
I'm not sure about that.
All right. Well, she stayed, and she helped somebody with a sprained ankle, which could have gotten her shot, actually.
Nah, it was just Sugar.
Sugar's a little dense in the head, and now he's probably got a concussion thanks to Luke, so he's got that going on. Was that Sugar, the big guy?
Yeah, big guy Sugar.
Big guy Sugar, yeah. So Luke retreats to the kitchen, and then he finds a prohibition stash underneath the kitchen, which the employees just happen to know about because, you know, there's no employee relationships going on in between shifts, is there?
I think they straight up tell you that they are. Like, that's exactly what they use that for.
Well, I thought it was just for taking naps. You know, I'm getting older at work.
I didn't see any hammocks down there. That's all I'm saying.
Fair enough. So what'd you think about the ability of the Prohibition hideaway to sustain a direct hit from a explosive device?
Maybe. I don't know. Like, it didn't affect the structure of the building, so it wasn't that big of an explosion, because otherwise it would have compromised the whole building. So I can buy that it just, like, maybe filled that room with shrapnel or something. I don't know. I
didn't think the kitchen got hit very hard. I think the door took a lot of damage, but I was expecting the kitchen to be smoldering ruins, and the water was still running.
Yep. Running through the ceiling.
Okay. So this might get into quotes. Haley, you're big into quotes, but I think we got to talk about it here. Shades goes up to Diamondback and he's like, okay, dude, what's going on? What's the plan here? Because we're trapped in here. And
what you talking about, Willis?
Exactly. That's where I was going. And Diamondback shoots back like, okay, we're going to have a talk later. He didn't like that pun. I don't know if that's been used against him before or not, but what you talking about? Well, and Haley, that quote is iconic from an 80s TV show.
Yes, I couldn't tell you which one, but I know it's from an 80s TV show.
You're kidding. You don't know what it is?
How many TV shows do you think I was watching in the 80s?
Were you born in the 80s?
The very end, yes.
So that was with Gary Coleman.
Mm-hmm.
And he played the younger brother, and they were two African-American
Was it Different Strokes? Is that the one it was?
That's the one.
Nailed it. I know stuff.
You had to be led into it.
I just wasn't sure. I know I've never seen an episode of it.
You have probably seen an episode in syndication.
I know it was on syndication, like on Nick at Night, but I didn't watch it.
Okay. Well, you didn't watch Nick at Night?
Not very often.
I thought that was iconic for your generation to have to watch Nick at Night. I thought it was mandatory. You had to watch Nick. You had to watch Nick at Night and then be so tired that you had to stay home from school the next day.
I never got to do that.
Oh, your parents are strict.
Well, my dad was the principal, so.
That's right. And with all the shirts that you got from the mistake. Yeah. All right. Did you get a Die Hard vibe from this episode at all? I did. Did you?
Maybe a little bit. It seemed more like a bank heist type of thing, though. Like kind of just a generic hostage situation.
It was a little bit of heist. I don't know why you got the Die Hard. Maybe it was when they were alone. Whatever. Claire taking out the guard on the way down the stairs. Way to go, Claire. Claire was a badass this episode. Claire was amazing. And she gets her name in this episode.
Right?
Was it Sugar?
Escort the night nurse here downstairs. That was Sugar.
That was Sugar. So Sugar gave her the name. They got the night nurse. Yep.
And then she clocked Lopes.
She did. Oh, she took out Shades, too.
And his shades.
Shades and the shades. Now, if she could only take out Talbot and his mustache. You don't think her powers extend that far?
I just wouldn't want to. I don't think I'd want to touch it.
Okay. For those that are only tuning in for Luke Cage, what we're talking about is now General Talbot over on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And Adrian Pasdar has I'm pretty sure, fake mustache, and it's the character onto its own. So if you haven't seen that yet, go over to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and check that out. So Blake Tower from Daredevil and Jessica Jones, or just Daredevil?
I don't remember him in Jessica Jones, but I know for sure he was in Daredevil.
Yeah, he was.
The second season of Daredevil.
So he was the associate AD that in Daredevil that basically was the olive branch towards the Daredevil team. And I didn't think he was going to be sticking around. Did you think he was going to be sticking around?
I don't remember because it's been a while since I saw Daredevil, but I kind of got the sense that he would have probably been taken down in whatever charges his boss got taken down in. Because it seemed like he was complicit in that. But maybe he managed to shirk all the blame onto her.
Well, the New York City in this universe is corrupt as all get out because the mayor is talking with Mariah Dillard about the Judas weapons. And I can only imagine that he was able to squirm his way out of there. I mean, we are talking about the superhero universe here of New York City, not necessarily what's there today, although I can't speak for the corruption, which may or may not exist in New York City right now. I would hope it wouldn't exist at this extent, but you never know. Anyway, Blake Tower is the ADA that comes in the middle of the hostage negotiations. The chief obviously wasn't there, which Blake points out, or it was Priscilla that pointed out, right? The inspector. And so I didn't understand why he was there other than to be an olive branch from the mayor's office. Was it?
I don't know. Or maybe just like a liaison between, the city administrative people and what was happening on the ground. A liaison, but not somebody with any actual authority to come back on them.
Right. And it wasn't his game to play. So no, he was in a no harm, no foul situation. No matter what he did, he was going to come out smelling like a rose. Now, as far as crossover appearances go, Blake kind of fell short for me. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, you barely remember who he is. In fact, I know I remembered the first time, but this time I did not remember because it's been so long since I saw Daredevil. But he brought up Frank Castle.
He did. And he brought up the other events in the universe. So I do like how they're intertwining that, but I don't think Blake needed to be there for, maybe, I don't know. It's just Blake, he just didn't, I'm all into the world building, and Blake didn't world build for me. It was just an ancillary character that really could have been anybody. Came in and whatever. So.
Yeah.
Luke's getting his wall punching on again.
It's good to have a move.
And then once he's punched through the wall just crumbles after that. Have you ever been part of a demolition of any sort of building or room? The walls just don't come down like that.
It depends on what the walls are made out of.
Well, it was brick, so it's the rest of the wall is actually put together by mortar. The bricks aren't just going to come out like that. You need a crowbar and you need...
He's Luke Cage.
Yeah, but they were coming off like Legos.
It's an old building.
That's true. What's the building?
I mean, it's Prohibition era, so probably built in early 1900s.
True. Now, I can't remember. The building was named after something before it became the Paradise, right? Harlem's Paradise.
Remember.
Yeah, it was some C name, and I can't remember. This is where we need Lauren. Where is Lauren? Lauren needs to be back here. We miss Lauren. So, tell me what you thought of Diamondback using the councilman for the negotiations of what happened there? You saw what was coming, but what did you think of that?
He is like unhinged. You know, he's one of those guys where it's nothing that has happened in his life is his fault. He's blaming his brother and his father for everything that's happened to him. And if he kills Carl, his life is going to be great because all the people that have done him wrong will be gone. And then his life will be, hunky-dory. Yeah,
at the very end, when it's just him with, it's Carl or Luke Cage. Take your pick. You want to call him Luke or you want to call him Carl?
I would call him Luke now, and Carl kind of refers to the life he had before.
Okay, so Luke was on the floor, and Willis Stryker, Diamondback, is up on the balcony with the hostage. And they're giving this back and forth, and Luke's saying, you don't need to do this. And then Diamondback was having none of it. He just kept pushing buttons. Luke said he was sorry about Dana. And then Willis comes back with, your mom was a bee. And, I mean, there was no winning with this guy. This guy has clearly issues that he's not going to let go. He's going to do everything that he can to take down his half-brother.
Yeah, I mean, that's the reason why he's in New York City.
With the power glove. Power glove came back, poor Boone. Didn't know what was going to hit him, literally.
Yeah, he could be selling those guns he's got, all around the world and making bank. But he had to come back to New York and deal with his brother.
He did. And Mariah's basically doing everything for him on that end, making the bank.
I mean, during this whole hostage crisis, she's negotiating the sale of weapons to City Hall, which, how is that going down? Like, the city of New York is going to buy some guns that fell off the back of a truck?
Well, okay, so you have a public crisis going on. You have this guy who's obviously taken bullets already. He's been shown on YouTube. I'm just going to say it's YouTube. I have no idea if it was YouTube, but YouTube, that the other cop was thrown, and you think that this guy, and you're living in a superhero world where these people exist. You've seen it happen with the Purple Man and Jessica Jones. You've seen everything go down with Daredevil, the incident, and everything else that's happened. And now you've got a chance to take him down. I think the city's going to pop. I think rules get broken at that point in time in that universe. I'm just saying, I think they do.
I don't think so, because remember, I think these are the same guns, aren't they, that were involved in that drug deal that went sideways or whatever at the very beginning of the series.
Yeah, but it's the bullets.
So these guns, right. No, it's the guns too. Because I think you've got to have the special gun to shoot the special bullets.
Really? I thought it was just the bullet that you could put in any gun.
I don't think so. They don't look like bullets that could go into any gun. They look pretty beefy.
Well, it's the same universe as Logan, right? And Logan had the adamantium bullet.
That's not the same universe.
It's all Marvel.
Yeah, come on, you know better. That's Fox Marvel.
Okay, fair enough.
This is Marvel proper.
But that bullet fit in any gun.
But yeah, because you hear all the time about, like, you know, FBI gun deals or drug deals or something that end up going kind of sideways, and how many people's careers that ruins. And the city of New York is going to buy weapons off of gangsters.
The Fast and the Furious happens all the time. People, I'm not talking about the movies here. I'm talking about the real life U.S. government corruption that happened. That's what they're talking about here. The writers have taken creative license and said, this happens. So yes, the bullets are going to, because if
these are made by Hammertech, why not just go buy them from Hammertech?
Because you don't have time. You have a hostage situation. Those weapons have to get to the location fast. Hammertech, they don't have any super suits to get them there fast enough.
I bet they do.
No.
I bet they've got a warehouse in New York full of, like, bullets in case the planet gets invaded by aliens again.
Maybe bullets, but there's no way to deliver them. They're not right there.
Because they don't have trucks in New York?
Not trucks that are fast enough. I don't know.
I'm not buying this. I think it's dumb. I think it's real dumb.
Calling out Luke Cage for a plot hole, huh?
That one, yeah.
So are you calling out Christian Taylor, or are you calling out George Tillman? I just have to get this right, for the show notes later on.
Well, I feel like it's probably bigger than just the episode writer. Like, that's probably a showrunner decision was, at some point they've got to get these bullets into the hands of the cops.
So you're calling out the showrunner. Okay. So just...
Which I don't remember who the showrunner is for this, but yeah.
It's not like you don't have Google. You can figure it out.
I do. That sounds like a lot of work.
It is indeed. So was there anybody in the series that you thought should have been in this episode that wasn't? Bobby Fish was named.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see a reason for him to be here. It would have been nice to see Mariah. Like, we know she was doing stuff behind the scenes this episode.
We saw her at the beginning, but yeah, it's right. We didn't see her. And I think we didn't see her because there was just too much going on inside the building.
Like, I bet it might have been nice to see her, hawking those street bullets in City Hall. But I understand why they didn't want to cut away from the action at Paradise, whatever.
I think it's Harlem's Paradise.
Harlem's Paradise. I can understand why they didn't want to cut away from the club to go to City Hall and have that scene. Because this whole episode takes place at City Hall in one night. Or not at City Hall, at Harlem's Paradise in one night.
Really in a matter of hours. I don't think it was a whole night even. So it's still dark when they were taking everybody away.
Yep.
All right, so Detective Misty Knight is trying to impart some knowledge to her boss, the inspector. The inspector's not really listening, but in the inspector's defense, I would want to get all the facts too before I moved forward.
Well, even if it is true that Luke Cage is completely innocent of all the things that she says he's innocent of, he's still somebody that they would have to bring in and question because there's still warrants for his arrest. Like, the police detective can't on her own make the decision to not arrest him.
Right. So it sets up an interesting interrogation at the very least next episode. And I have no idea what happens. Very curious. Less than a week, I will find out what happens. So, Haley, any last words about what happened during this episode? I glossed over a lot, but you have anything specific you want to talk about?
Not really.
All right.
Except Carl Lucas's dad's kind of a dick. He left Dana Stryker to die alone.
Yeah, after Willis left town. Oh, and we get the actual recollection of what happened to Willis along the way. So we get his origin story more specifically, because I don't think we got that before. They went out for a joyride, they were best friends, and just because Carl's name, they blamed it all on Willis. Willis went into juvie, was accosted by somebody with a shank, and he wasn't shanked, but there was a shank pulled.
He killed the other guy, didn't he?
Yeah, and then he killed the guy that pulled the shank, and then of course he went to real life prison after that, and he just blamed it all on my dad wasn't there for me, and my brother is privileged, and I need to make sure he's not privileged because he doesn't deserve it. So because I'm the firstborn, dang it. So that was an interesting backstory. A lot of rage there, as we talked about before, and I'm sure it's not over with. So, Haley, do you have some quotes?
I do have some quotes. What you talking about, Willis? Your family is jacked up.
Claire with the great one. And yeah, it was a Claire or Misty? I think it was Claire, right?
That was Misty.
Oh, it was Misty, yeah. Anyway, both of them, they both were pretty cool this episode.
Yep. I don't want to bleed to death on the floor like Scarf.
Oh, I know the feels with that. It's like, oh, she definitely knew, the writer, whoever, and she said it very well, but whoever wrote that line, it was perfect for the situation.
Yeah, it was very true to her character and what she's experienced up to this point. Escort the night nurse here downstairs.
Night nurse, name coming out, has to be called out.
I'm not the hero type.
Luke, yeah, but he kind of is, and he's got to get it through that thick skull of his.
And Claire, I don't remember now if it was Claire or Misty, but one of them told him, yeah, you kind of are. Trouble stalks me like a crazy ex-boyfriend.
Yeah?
Couldn't you have died during childbirth?
Oh. One of the hateful things said.
Bye, Felicia.
Yeah, and she was saved, though, right? Luke caught her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, she was falling, 15 feet? That wouldn't have killed her anyways. Well, she might have twisted her other ankle.
Right, Cottonmouth survived it, and Mariah killed Cottonmouth after the fall, so yeah.
I don't know about you, but I think I jumped from that high when I was a kid.
When I was a kid, but as an adult, that's a whole different thing.
Like I said, she definitely would have twisted her other ankle. It would have hurt real bad.
It would have. As a young adult, I had the opportunity to dive off a 10-meter board over and over again. 10 meters is 30 feet in the air. That's 3 stories. It's into water, right? So, but as an adult, I'm sure I would sprain my ankles going off the 10-meter board just into the water. I'd go into the water wrong, and I'd probably break something on my way in, which is entirely possible, by the way, if you hit water wrong from that height. All right. So we have some news about our next show. As we've talked about before, we are shifting our main recording time to Sunday, and that starts this week. Now, we're doing this because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and then Inhumans before that has shifted their time spot where they air from Wednesday night, Tuesday night to Friday night. And there's just no other time for us to podcast because we have lives and we would like to go out and have fun Friday night and Saturday. So we've chosen Sunday afternoon, 1 p.m. Eastern as the new home of the main broadcast. Now, also in an attempt to get caught up with everything this summer, we are going to do a second broadcast time. Now, right now it's Wednesday nights, but that will probably push to another night, so stay tuned for that. So next Sunday, we will start our rewatch, in our case, of Legion with episode 1, which is called Chapter 1, and that will be at geeks.live at 1 p.m. Eastern. Now, next Wednesday, we will continue with our Luke Cage watch through, and we will be running down episode 12, Soliloquy of Chaos. So you can catch both of those at geeks.live. So, Haley, are you ready for some news?
Let's hit it. All right. First off, there's a new cartoon coming called Avengers Secret Wars, which is a sequel series to Avengers Assemble. I was completely unaware that this was happening. Others might have known about it. Lauren probably knew about it. I did not. But they, in the last week, released 5 new shorts to kind of promote this show that's coming to Disney XD. And it's a whole new team. It looks like it's going to be Black Panther, Ant-Man, the Wasp, Vision, Captain Marvel, and Miss Marvel. So check out those videos. It's something that I'm looking forward to. I'm sure if Lauren was here, she would be squealing with joy as well, because I know she's a huge fan of Ms. Marvel.
Mm-hmm. And I'm a huge fan of Captain Marvel.
Yes.
So can't wait for that to happen. And in that article we found at nerdist.com.
Yes. Next, we've got some casting news for the next X-Men movie, or not the next X-Men movie, but an X-Men movie called New Mutants. They have cast Sunspot, who will be played by Henry Zaga. He joins the already cast members. Rosario Dawson, our very own Claire, will be in this movie, along with Maisie Williams and Anna Taylor-Joy.
Maisie Williams has been the big catch for them so far. I think that Maisie is winding down her Game of Thrones acting and starting her foray into other areas, and the New Mutants is definitely good. Sunspot sounds familiar to me. I think it's been in one of the many comics that I've been reading from about 6 months ago, because it's...
That's possible. I know he was in one of the X-Men cartoons. I want to say it was X-Men Evolution.
I want to say he was in the comic X-Men 92, but I'm not sure. I'll have to go back and check. Could have been Uncanny X-Men or Extraordinary X-Men or something like that. But my point there is we've restarted the production on Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. Long Box Edition and just rounding out September now and getting into October 2016. So running 2 of those a week until we get caught up. So you can check that out. Also at GonnaGeek.com.
Yes. And to finish up the news, we've got a few videos. The first is Chris Hemsworth, a little bitter over his exclusion from Civil War. And this is a delightful little video where he plays with all of the Marvel action figures, and you should definitely go check that out.
These Marvel guys are just great. And this is the type of one shot that we were lacking, and we were calling Marvel out for not having post-credit scenes or nice little one-shots like this out there. I think they have met that call this year with Guardians of the Galaxy alone with their 5 mid-credit and post-credit scenes. I mean, come on. That
was amazing. Did you have people like wandering out of your theater after each one?
I did, and I honestly, after the first couple, I think we talked about it during the Guardians of the Galaxy podcast that we did. I said, no, wait, stop, don't go. There's more. There's a total of 5. We've only had 2. And after like the third one, when I said there's 2 more, some people just looked at me like I was crazy and they walked out. I'm like, no, but you really are missing. I was, okay, well, all right, you have been warned.
Bro.
Yeah.
And the last video is Tom Holland dressed as Spider-Man visiting kids at the LA Children's Hospital.
This is awesome. This happens over and over and over again. I still have my superhero bowl t-shirt, by the way. I just wore it in the past week and it just came out of the wash again. I was folding it, putting it back up there. Going, yeah. So I really enjoy this with the actors that go out to children's hospitals and just make these kids' lives. And a lot of them, this is the superhero that they know. They might not have ever read the comics. Maybe they did. I don't know. They might not have seen any of the older Spider-Man movies. I don't know either way, but in this case, this is the Spider-Man that's out there right now, and he deserves all the credit for making this happen. So giving a little bit back to the community. It's awesome. Now, who's been your favorite superhero visit to a hospital?
I don't know. I don't remember what they've done. So
my favorite to date, and they've all been great, by the way, including the superhero bowl with Chris Pratt and, it was Chris Pratt as Star-Lord, and it was Chris Evans as Captain America. Yeah, that was great. But Tony Stark as Tony Stark with the little kid with the prosthetic. It wasn't in a hospital, but that was my favorite because the dude was Tony Stark, and the kid realized that he was not Tony Stark, but he was Tony Stark. So Robert Downey Jr., Tony Stark, came as one individual to that to give the kid the Iron Man prosthetic. That has been my favorite so far, but it by no means it means that any of the others are worse than that. So good on you, Tom Holland. Good on you, everybody else. Chris Evans, Chris Pratt, and Robert Downey Jr. All right. We're going to move on to some feedback. It's been a couple of weeks since we've run feedback, but there was one tweet in particular that I wanted to bring out. It's from the friend of the cast, Christy. It's been nice hearing from you, Christy, by the way. At Adana Girl on June 1st, she had a tweet which basically retweeted another tweet from Chloe Bennett. And Christy's tweet said, if Daisy gets a puppy, can Fitz get a monkey? So I was thinking, what is she talking about? But then I went to Chloe Bennett's tweet and I was like, I see. And Chloe said, my pitch, Daisy either needs a puppy or a boyfriend who stays alive in this season. That's what she said, alive in this dimension. But, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's why I don't think they'll put her with Ghost Rider, because then he would have been in 2 seasons, and her love interest can't be in more than 1 season.
And the important part about this tweet, by the way, is that Chloe was referencing a tweet by Nora Zuckerman, who was saying the first day back for the writers of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 5 is alive. So just a few weeks ago, really, we didn't know this was going to happen. It is happening there in the writers' room. So getting psyched up for January in our 22-week run of Season 5 with no stops. No stops, Haley. No stops.
No brakes on this car.
For good or worse. The ratings start going to 0.4. There's nothing they can do about it.
We'll be here. We'll be talking about it.
We definitely will. So thank you, everybody that has given us some sort of feedback on YouTube or Facebook or via email or Twitter. We really still do appreciate that. So keep them coming in. We will be talking about them in the coming casts, including Legion. So if you have something to say about Legion, go ahead and get it to us. All right, Haley, I think that's it for this week. You want to walk this one out? You?
Let's do it.
Okay, here we go. As I mentioned before, thank you, everybody, for downloading this podcast. We're still getting great downloads into the month of June of 2017, so thank you very much for sticking with us. And thank you very much to our absent co-host, Lauren, who's not here, and we're really hoping to have her back next time. And I just want to say thank you very much to Stephen Jondrew of the GonnaGeek.com network for having us on the network, because it is an awesome network that even Haley has other shows on the network. I mean, come on, who else would take Haley?
Hey. I got lots of options. Thank you to Christy, Adana Girl, for tweeting us this week, and everybody else that sends us feedback. We really appreciate all of that. Thank you to everybody who's been patient with us as we slowly work our way through Luke Cage. And don't worry, we will be getting to all of the other awesome Marvel goodness this summer. We've got Legion starting this Sunday. We'll be starting Iron Fist as soon as we finish Luke Cage. And at the end of the summer, we've got Defenders coming. So lots of good stuff to look forward to this summer. We're going to throw a little Spider-Man in there when that comes out. It's really going to be a lot of Marvel fun happening.
I just thought of something, Haley. We're going to have to change the intro. So this is the last podcast with the current intro, because we're going to have to add Legion to it. You know, I was also thinking about bringing back Agent Carter, but it's not an
I would love if they brought back Agent Carter.
I know, but I mean in the intro.
Yeah, fine, whatever.
We'll see how it rolls.
I would like to actually bring back Agent Carter.
There's been talk of that, and I don't, because of course Haley Atwell's available, but the rest of the team is.
Yeah, it's not like she's working right now.
It'd be good to have her back as flashbacks in either the movie or the show. So they could do that, by the way. They could do an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. flashback with Peggy Carter.
Or time travel. I mean, it's a comic book show. Come on.
That never
How
happens.
Awesome would that be?
Yeah. Would totally. Yeah. I'm sure that could happen. All right. So thank you very much, everybody, for sticking with us. It's been a fun year, and we're having a great summer thanks to you. So until next time, I'm Director Stargate Pioneer.
And I'm Agent Haley.
See you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
Actually, next time.
Thank you for listening. If you want to leave us feedback, go to GonnaGeek.com and you will find all our contact information and other shows. You can also visit legendsofshield.com, where you'll find our complete archive of podcasts. The music heard on this podcast is by Kevin MacLeod, found at incompetech.com, and also artists on pond5.com and audiojungle.net. The opinions heard on this podcast are those of the individual hosts and do not represent Stargate Pioneer Productions, Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D, or Gonna Geek. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D is the property of the Disney Corporation, Marvel Studios, and ABC. No infringement is intended. Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D is copyright 2017.